Suppose you were in a hurry, and the only way to get where you were going was to break a stupid, vicious rule. Way before Rosa Parks took her seat at the front of the bus, more than 100 years earlier, Elizabeth Jennings mounted the steps of a whites-only streetcar in New York City. Elizabeth wasn't just anybody. She was a church organist and a Sunday school teacher. Even more important, she had been raised in a proud African-American family. Her story really starts with her father, Thomas Jennings. Thomas Jennings was the first African-American to successfully patent an invention. He was born a free black in New York City in 1791, just 3 years after New York ratified the Constitution. Apprenticed to a tailor, Thomas worked hard to learn his trade. In his 20s, he started his own clothes cleaning business. At age 30, he invented a new method called dry scouring, an early version of dry cleaning. When he won a patent for his invention, he was so proud he hung it above his bed, where it remained all his life. Thomas Jennings married a woman named Elizabeth, who had been born a slave in Delaware. He earned enough through his business to purchase freedom for his wife and their first daughter, Matilda. That meant his next 2 children, Elizabeth and Thomas Jr., were born into freedom. The elder Jennings was active in abolitionist circles and helped found the Abyssinian Baptist Church. His children grew up with the confidence of free people. Which brings us back to Elizabeth Jennings. One Sunday in 1854, running late and clasping a fine Sunday hat to her head, Elizabeth leapt aboard a whites-only, horse-drawn streetcar. The conductor ordered her to leave. When she refused, he took hold of her, shouting, "You shall sweat for this!" Elizabeth grabbed onto the window frame, and the conductor couldn't pry her loose until he hailed a policeman for help. Together, the 2 men threw Elizabeth out onto the street, crushing her hat. Then the policeman arrested her. Thomas Jennings was furious. He hired a 25-year-old lawyer, Chester Arthur, who later became President of the United States. They sued the streetcar company, and they won. The judge ruled that African Americans could not be barred from public transport as long as they were, quote, sober, well-behaved, and free from disease. Of course, these were conditions that white people were not required to meet, but it was a start on the road to justice. I'm Penny Noyce. For this and more stories of invention in America, check out my book, Inventors, Makers, Barrier Breakers, from Tumblehome, Inc.